creating and honoring Black history every month.
The reason why I do what I do and the reason why I focus on advocacy for Black families is because I can see the need. I can see the need for myself when I was going through the Ontario education system, and I can see the need that's going to be present for my child if we do not do this work now. So the reason why I do this work and the reason why I love doing this work is not only to save myself, but to save a future version of me as well too.
I advocate on behalf of Black children because when my son was 7, I sat in the office of his principal with my mother, having a conversation about all the supports that she felt that he needed, all the things that were wrong with him, all of the ways in which he was being excluded from his classroom environment. And I looked at my mother across the table at my mother and realized that 30 years prior, she had sat in an office just like that with the principal and had the same conversation about me. And that's when, for me, it clicked that there's nothing wrong with my child, but there's everything wrong with the system.
Started from my children being faced with different forms of systemic racism within the education system, i.e. my firstborn, and I was there to advocate for him and support him. And as the more I did it for him, I realized that this was deliberate. This wasn't an accident. He wasn't being targeted just because. It was purposeful. Everything that was happening to him was designed, and that's how I got into advocacy, advocating for my children.
And a system that has racism ingrained in it. And a lot of times when something is ingrained, we think it's normal. And a lot of times because of that, we don't speak up for ourselves. So organizations like ours exist to be able to do that for those children and for those families.
Support for children because we're supporting the next generation. We're building their opportunities, we're building their potentials, we're making what is impossible for them possible. A lot of the socioeconomic constraints that they're facing, I think PoBC has been doing our very best to help to bridge some of those gaps.
Being Black means being excellent, I think. There's so much beauty in our Blackness. There's so much power in being Black, and there's so much glory in being Black.
Advocacy is a matter of life or death for our children.
PoBC for me has always been a love letter to our community. It's always been about heart. And the biggest impact I hope to have is that Black children can just exist and just be.
While it may not be your child, your family, or even your specific racial group that's being targeted right now, we see that Black and Indigenous students are at the bottom of indicators for success in our education system. So if first they came for us, just know that they can come for you.